stormy Friday morning here in the Aurora area here, the Chicago Western Suburbs. It is March 6, 2026 here, and this video I'm just going to point out what's happening in the real estate market this morning, as of this morning, and see what's the properties available and if there's any deals to be had here. Okay, so this will be a brief video, but if I do find a property at the end of this video, I will be doing a CMA for that particular property, just because it's good to scan it. But if you're in a hurry, you want to watch this video real fast, look, let me show you exactly what's going on here in the real estate market this morning. Okay, so I'm going to show you here. Here's the map of all that is going on here. A total of 446 homes for sale in general, right? We're talking about all properties, and that's not even all 446, as you can see here in the map. It's not all of them. There's still other properties that are available. But if you are interested in investing and interested in rentals and those kind of homes, let me show you that these properties here are the ones that you might want to target. Okay, these are $300,000 or less, and this morning we're standing at 35 properties. Is that higher or lower? And don't mind the background noise here. I do have the window open right behind me here. It's a beautiful rainy day, so I love taking that rain in here. But anyway, as far as these properties go, this morning, as of right now, 10:21 in the morning, we do see 35 properties available on the market. And of those, let me just filter out those that are available right now to go see, let's say. Okay, it's a total of 22 properties. So let me just show you here in the map the homes for sale. There they are. 22 of these properties in this area are up for grabs today. Okay, if you're interested in the Montgomery area, then you'll have these homes available. If you're interested in the east side of Aurora, then these kind of homes will be available, right? And if you're interested in the west side of Aurora, this morning, right now, there's 4 properties available for sale. And even this property here in Aurora looks to be the one on Lancaster. I think that's actually already off the market. Let me just kind of check this out. There it is. There's a highest and best due for that one today in about 90 minutes. Okay, so if you are wanting to put in an offer for a property just like that, you got 2 hours to do that. Okay, so make sure that you are give me a call at 630 777-4597 if you do want to make an offer. If you already saw the property, obviously. If you didn't see the property, get on the phone right now and give me a call. All right, I know that this is on YouTube. It'll be seen later, but you can already tell the kind of work that I do here for you, okay? Because if you're not interested in getting this done, then we'll see what we can do. Now, I know someone is calling me here about this one right now, but I can't take the call because I'm doing this video for you. But let me take a look here and see what properties are available right now, okay? So look, we do have a couple of properties that hit the market here, okay? There's 2 that hit the market. So at this point in this video, if you already are in a rush and you want to get going, let me just show you real quick what the properties that are available are, because there's 2 here that I'm going to comp. They're brand new, so you can stick around and watch that video. But for now, if you need to know what properties are on the market that are good for buying and renting out, let me just say, it'll be these properties right here. Ready? All right, so I'm going to pull them all up right now, as of right now, okay? Not the new ones that just got comped. All right, here we go. I'm going to tell you the property to look out for, 743 Bank Street. This property right here is, in my opinion, a good one to get into. I got notified of this yesterday. I also made a video. If you're interested, make sure to watch that comping video I put in there. If there's a card, go ahead and click it. If not, go through the channel here and find that one. It's titled $57,000 profit for a flip. Watch that video because I did go through the details of that particular one. But that's the property on High Street, okay? So that one I am marking as a potential good property to get. This one here in Spring Garden as well, I think it's a good one for buy and hold. I do see a cash flow of about $400 a month for that property there. So make sure to reach out to me at 630-777-4597 to snatch it up, you could say. Another one is on Woodlawn Avenue. I do see a $700 monthly cash flow once this property is good to go. I don't just pull these names or these numbers out of a hat. I do look into the rental comps, you could say, using a rentometer, and then I compare it to what a typical mortgage would look like. And then finally, there's one on 5th Avenue. This one's a temporary no-show status, unfortunately, but I do see strong monthly figures once you fix this property up. And again, I do see $900 cash flow, and you say, well, that's the numbers you get before you fix it up. Look at all the work that needs to be done. Listen to me. When I do the figures, I calculate the numbers that are needed to rehab the property. Now, I'm a broker, right? I give you my opinion on the rehab costs. I'm not a contractor, but I do see them regularly. I talk to them all the time. I work with them every day, so I am always asking questions to better my craft, right? But if you are, interested in knowing more about this one here, then by all means reach out to me. But I do see that these numbers would work, okay? So anyway, of these properties, these are the ones that I feel today are the deals, right? 743 Bank Street, 16 Spring Garden, 138 Woodlawn, and 408 Smith Street, even though that one's, actually all of them are available to see. Let me show you the map where they are located. None of them here in the west side, even the one that's highest and best due right now, I mean, the numbers don't match, what I am looking at. Even though it has multiple offers, to me, the numbers didn't show strong resolve, with being able to flip it. But at the same time, I did put them in there just in case. But these are the properties today to look out for, okay? So if that's all you need to see, thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Now, the next part of this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to comp these two properties that showed up. And why keep them here? Because this is part of my job, right? I want to make sure that every property that I'm looking at here is looked at. And I'm going to just take you through the process of how I think for these properties. So I'm going to go ahead and, again, search the properties that are under $300,000, all of them, all in general, right? Here they are. There's a total of 35 properties. These two right here actually ended up coming on the market recently, actually. One of them hit the market this morning at 8:48 in the morning, and the other one ended up hitting the market at 10:20, which is literally 6 minutes ago. Just 6 minutes ago, we are going to be doing a comparison on this one. So it's 122 Long Beach Road. I'm going to go ahead and start running the numbers for this one. This property here on Long Beach Road, I'm going to show you that what it can rent for, okay? So let me just look it up here. Long Beach Road, Montgomery, okay? I'm using my rentometer to kind of reach out for the information here. It is a 4-bedroom, and it looks like a 4-bedroom, 1-bath home. All right, so the homes like this in this area, according to rentometer, homes like this in Montgomery can go for about $1,900 a month. Now, thankfully, this property already has all of the bells and whistles. Okay, take a look at this one. All right, I don't represent the seller, obviously. This one just came up here on the computer, so I'm just running the numbers as we normally would, right? And so we just want to show you, what that could go for. Okay, so that property can rent for $1,900. All right, and what's the asking price? They're asking $295,000 for this home, right? So they're asking $295,000 for this home, and it came on the market just 6 minutes ago, okay? So again, this property just came on the market 6 minutes ago here, and we're already running the numbers on it so that you can be the first one to go see this house. If you're interested, call me at this number, 630-777-4597. Even though it's backwards, you can still, understand. And that way you could go and see this property. It's already fixed up for you. Again, look at these photos. It's already ready to go. Boom, look at these home photos. Just buy and start working on this one. But is it a deal, right? Even though the property looks nice and it's ready to move in there, right? Is it a deal for you? If you're an investor, let's take a look and see if this is a property that would work for you. So we're calculating the numbers right now. I'm going to bring out my mortgage calculator here. Since there's no need to, put in repair numbers, we're just going to go with the face value of this property, right? $295, assuming that there's no bid wars, assuming that that's the number you're going to go with. Let me just plug in some of these numbers here. The taxes for this property is $56.83. So you can hear the rain in the background. Hopefully that's relaxing for you. I don't know if you could sleep to this, but you know what? It is what it is, okay? All right, so assuming that we close in 1 month. All right, so here's the moment of truth, okay? This is the moment of truth right here. We're gonna run not only we already know what the rents could go for, $1,900. We literally need, and I don't think already, just thinking ahead, that this is gonna be a deal for you for a flipper, but if $1,900 is the rent in this area with 4 beds, 1 bath, we kind of need this home to be $1,500, $1,400 a month for mortgage. Are those numbers typical? Yeah, if you're buying a property at $210, but $295, it's not going to happen, right? And I'll just tell you that right now. So according to the calculator here, it could rent, the mortgage payment could possibly be $2,200 a month. So let's just do the math, right? If the property can go for, let me just bring out the calculator here, right, to show you that we're really calculating these numbers. It's not complicated, but this property is at a loss of $300 a month. So is it a deal for an investor to buy this and rent it out? Absolutely not. No, 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 no. Do not buy this house if you're going to buy to rent it out. Absolutely, because you're going to lose $300 a month every month for that, okay? So I would consider this to be a negative 300 cash flow. Would I send it out to my investors? No. Now, is it a good property to live in? Of course it is, yes. So that's what we have here for this property, okay? And that's the one here on Long Beach Road. It just came on the market a few minutes ago, and I'm already comping it, and I'm already calling it. This is not a good home for a flip. Now, could we go and see this property as soon as possible? Well, let me just kind of take a look at this here. So I'm gonna do some stuff outside of here. It is a go and show. It is vacant, so usually those are easy to, move. And I'm just gonna put it in here. Another negative thing about this property, or maybe plus, if you don't like garages, is that it doesn't have a garage. That's the point. No garage is at this property. Oh, there's a nice driveway, but there's no garage. So for this home, let me just go ahead and save this information. All right, let me just put that in there. It is not for a flip, and it is not for a buy and hold. The rehab cost is $0, and no need to check out the ARV. Why? Again, because it is not a home to be, using for flip, and that's not a bad thing. It's okay. People can still love this house and live in it, especially if you're in the market for that. Again, if you're in the market for finding a property to live in, don't be settled with just the 5 or 4 properties that I showed earlier in this video. There's a whole lot of properties, excuse me, that are available for living in. Or if you're looking to live in the property and fix it up too, you can always reach me at this number, 630-777-4597. All right, so there were 2 properties. The next one here is a property on 4th Street. All right, so let's go ahead and start looking at this information. So I'm gonna go ahead, copy this information, start plugging it into my rental comps so I can start having the numbers ready to go. This property is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath property. It has 1,274 square feet. So it's a healthy size. It's average. It's in a good number, right? It's not tiny by any means. This property can rent for $2,200 a month, actually, in this area. Does the property itself dictate and command this number? The area commands this, right? All right, so as you can see here, already inside, some parts look like it's already fixed, other parts don't, okay? So again, this property, it started getting into the market yesterday, right? And so we're gonna just go ahead and run the numbers. So we already know that this property here is 941 South 4th Street. I don't represent the seller. I would represent you as a buyer, right? So I would just give you that little disclaimer there. And I could tell you who is it, from and whatnot, but let me just run the numbers for now, okay? So this property is going for $265,000 in the market. Already, I know that this one is a little hefty. Unless properties in this area sell for $360,000, $70,000, it's probably not gonna be a flip. But let's just keep going, okay? And this one was listed yesterday. So this one did come out late yesterday. And actually, I do want to do something with this one. I do want to bring out something. So let me go ahead and do something offline here. And I want to take a look at, let me just see something here. Okay. All right. I think I lost that page. No big deal. All right. So we're going to just, let's see, put out the new workspace. There it is. And there we go. All right, let me do something offline here. I want to search and see if I actually have that property already scanned. That's what I do. I call it a market scan for this property. Let me just take a look at something here and make sure that I didn't already scan it. All right, I'm looking. And has it been scanned? Let's just take a look. All right, it's 4th Street. All right, looks like I haven't. Great, awesome. All right, so let's keep working on the numbers here for this property. All right, so it goes for $2,200 a month. I already got that noted. And then the next thing we're gonna do is just look at the taxes real quick here for this property. Thankfully, there is no exemptions reported here, so I'm gonna go straight into just plugging in the numbers that I see here, which is 3404 for this home. All right, let me make sure that it's registering, 3404. All right, and then what we got here, let's just take a look at some of the photos that we got here for this property on 4th Street. Remember, this property came on the market yesterday. It's still being updated even today, but let's take a look and see. Already off the bat, we know that this is a 2-story house here. It has a nice front porch. let the air in and whatnot. The photos look spectacular. Great job there. There's also a space even for an attic, it looks like. So we're gonna dive into the property right now and take a look. All right, so it does have that outdated look, a little old one. Remember, this property was built in 1925, so we're going to be able to see some of the features that a property in 1925 looks like. I don't think a lot of updating and modernizing of this home has occurred, so it's fine. Let's start bringing out the calculator and let's start just thinking about what we can do to modernize this home, right? So I'm already off the bat, I'm thinking there's gonna be a new paint job. So let's just get that out of the way. I'm assuming about $4,000 for the first floor and another $3,000 for the upstairs, okay? The floor itself, I don't like the tile here in the bottom. Maybe adding some hardwood floors or some LVP flooring would be great. The doors, it looks to be solid, but I don't like this slot here. So I'm assuming that someone's gonna wanna change that. I'm gonna add $1,000 for that door. Obviously, we're gonna ignore the furniture here, but again, I do see folks adding carpet. So if this wasn't hardwood, I would recommend someone adding maybe some LVP flooring or even some carpet. I've seen homes in this area that has that. So at this point, I'm still trying to figure out if this home has carpet. Now, looking at the photos, you could probably ask yourself, hey, does this have carpet? What I'm gonna do is actually look at some of the details here. It says that it does have hardwood floor in some of these floors yet, so I can just put in the work of refinishing it. If we refinish this floor, and put in the work, then we can definitely get this done. Hey. All right, so we're gonna just continue to move here and put in some modernizing and some nice colors and trim and whatnot. So again, we're at $8,000 right now. We're comping this property right now, right? We're kind of like trying to figure out what's the rehab costs. All right, the kitchen itself doesn't look bad actually. It looks like more of an alley or galley style kitchen. So I do see the backsplash. I do see the floor has been modernized. I could maybe paint the cabinets a little bit better. That would look nicer. But honestly, it doesn't look bad. Some buyer would walk through here and like the kitchen. So am I gonna invest into this kitchen? I would probably invest a little bit to paint the cabinets a nice brighter color. All right, so we're just walking around the first floor here. Now we're on the second floor, I wanna say. Just judging by maybe not actually, it's probably the first floor still. But I do see here that there is paint. We already took care of that already. It does have carpet, so we are going to, are we gonna keep the carpet? That's the question that we're asking at the moment. We'll probably keep the carpet, but we'll see how things go, all right? And then here's one of the bathrooms. Again, it does look like the bathroom's been already updated recently, maybe a couple things, fixture here or there. So I'm gonna just add about $500 for updating, not even, maybe I would add 1,000. To kind of just spruce it up a little bit better, sinks. But I mean, everything looks fine. Even this curtain here, I would get this one out of the way. I think the carpet, the shower drapes, the curtain, is kind of taken away from the magnificence of this bathroom. I think it looks great. All right, going downstairs. The downstairs, I do see, in my opinion, I don't like these wooden panel walls. Some people do like the wooden, but that's 1 out of 10 that like it. In my experience, I do see tile floor here, so that's got to go. So the labor of getting that out, I'm plugging it in, and then fixing up the floor. In the floor, do you add carpet? Do you add hard laminate flooring? You could do whatever you can, right? I've seen people put laminate flooring in these. So I'm just gonna add $4,000 for the flooring here, and then I'll add another $3,000 for painting the walls, right, making it nice. As far as this ugly ceiling tile goes and the fluorescent lights, those have got to go. So the cost to remove them, I would probably put in about $1,000 for labor. We're gonna get a bin, so I'm adding another K for a bin to remove the garbage, all right? And then the lights, all that stuff, either you're gonna put drywall and finish the rest of it all, or you're going to do this. If you're gonna add drywall, I would add another $3K for adding drywall for the ceiling, all right? And then painting it, so that is involved there. All right, the bathroom downstairs looks pretty good. I don't like the door, the door, I'm not a fan of it, and I'm already telling you, just by the way the door looks, okay, this is probably a short bathroom. You walk in here and you're gonna feel claustrophobic, because I do see that the floor was cut off. There's no way. Doors are not really meant to do this. I have a listing as well on 557 Binder Street that does have doors like this that are cut off at the bottom. Don't be alarmed when you see that. It doesn't mean that, this alarm's going off, but it does happen. You would probably have to slouch down in order for you to, get there, get to kind of slouch down and pick it up or open the door, right? But that just is an indicator for me that says, hey, you know what? This property it's probably low. It's a short basement. But it is what it is, right? All right, here's one of the enclosed porches here. It looks to be the backyard. Yep, that is. There's a deck. So some work on the deck. I would say to stain it. I would add a couple thousand there for that. The grass itself could be better. But that's it. Unfortunately, we don't have close-ups of the window. We don't have close-ups of the furnace or the water heater. So unfortunately, I don't see this any more than that. So I'm just going to add maybe another 15. So I'm going to finally finish by saying it probably costs about $35K for the rehab for this property. All right. Now that we have that done, is this a flip? Well, that's the next question we're going to ask, right? So let me go ahead and see if I can open up. All right. Let me see if I can open up a window here and run some comps. All right. We're going to run some comps. Yes. What are comps? Well, comps are properties that have sold, right? Comparative market analysis is what we're calling it, right? And that's basically when we look at homes that have sold in the last, 6 months to 12 months and see, right? So let's go ahead and take a look here. That's just a random spot there. Who knows where that's at? But we're going to center this one on the subject property, okay? So let's go ahead and center that there. There it is, right by Ashland and Douglas Avenues right here. 4th Street's right there. I got a listing right here where you see my cursor. There's a listing right there. So this actually falls into that comp as well, right? And there we go. All right, perfect. So now we have that, and it's 6 months. Again, the square footage of this property, let me tell you, it is at 1274, okay? Because it's 1274, I want to put the maximum square foot in the range of, I would say, 1700. Nothing more than that, because then we're kind of getting out of the range, and then nothing shorter than 800 square feet. All right, with that said, let's go ahead and see what we get here. Got 32 comparables. All you really need is 2 or 3 comparables. That's it. But now, let me go ahead and start searching. Now, I sorted the column right here that you can see. For sold price, the highest in this area has sold for $360. So that's a little bit more promising. But again, it's a 2009 build. Yesterday, I did come up with a video that talked about, new construction. People have lived in it already, so there you go. Take that with a grain of salt. I wouldn't actually use that. I would call this still a sort of an anomaly. And they wanted $370 for this one. It's still a newer build, newer bones. The disparity between the subject build date, which is 1925, and this one 2009, it's like a long span still. So I still would not include that, or at least lower the sold price, adjust it, right? But the next one is here on 325, this one on River Street, sold. And here you go. You can take a look and see what that would go. So I like that comp. That comp looks more reasonable to me. So I would even just call it 325 is the price. So let me just plug it in here. 325 is the ARV in this area. All right. And so the repair costs, I called it at $35,000. All right. And if we recall, the taxes for this area are $3404, at least for this particular property. All right, and then the purchase price, this is the golden ticket right here. If the price is right, then you'll be fine. But they are asking $265,000. So it's not at all something. So now that we've hit enter, here's a great number. $2,000 in the red. So is this a flip? It is not a flip. And this property will not be, good for that. So, okay. So this property is not a flip, okay? We're doing some comps here. We're running some numbers. This property is not a flip. Okay, fine. Is it all over with for the investor? The answer is no, it's not. Why? Because this property can still be good for a rental. So let's see if this property can go for a rental or not. All right, so let's plug in the rehab costs plus the costs to fix it up. And that brings us to a price of $300,000. All right, now we're going to just plug in the rest of the numbers. And if someone does get a mortgage for this property, including the costs to fix it, all right, we're going to compare it with the number of 2,200. And the number that spits out here is 2005. All right, so is there a cash flow? Well, yes, a very small cash flow of $200 a month, okay? So, and then the condition of the property, 0 to 100%, I would call this maybe a 75%. In fact, I would call it an 80%, okay? Other than that, I don't see this one being a good property for a flip. Let me just see if this property is good for a go and show, or if it's, at least when it comes to showing, right? I do care about these things here. And I do have to, put that in there for my own reports and whatnot. So this one requires an appointment. And then now I'm just going to paste these notes over to my, notebook, my database here, my own personal database and whatnot. Okay, so there you have it. Okay, in the real estate market this morning, okay, we're looking at 22 properties that are available, active on the market right now. All right. But in total, there's 35 properties, and some of them are private listings, and some are temporary no-show status, right? And then we do have a couple of them that are actually asking for highest and best due. Let me take you back here again. The one that does have highest and best is the one on Lancaster, like I said. That one has a highest and best due today at 12 p.m., which is literally in about an hour and 15 minutes. So just in case you're wondering. And yes, that's the state of the market here. So if you have any questions about anything at all, those 4 properties that we talked about in the beginning of this video does show that that's ready to go. So just let me know if you have any property questions at all. I would love to help you out. Again, my name is Torres, realtor here in the Western Suburbs of Chicago, primarily here in the Aurora area, hyper-local, 630-777-4597. Let me know if you like this. Share this video if you think someone else can benefit from this, and I would love to see. Also, watch out for more videos coming up during the day here and there whenever new content comes up. Okay, make sure to like these videos. Take care.